Hey, hi. All right, I'm gonna wait for this to actually pop up to make sure that we're really live and not just kind of live. Because you know how Facebook sometimes does that, right? That you're kind of live, but you're not really live. Okay, cool. So now we're really live. That is great. Okay, just making sure. Okay, hi. Good morning. Good morning. Okay, so today I want to talk to you about, okay, the 5 tips to nurturing relationships on social media for your business. Because I think that it is really, really important that we do this well. You know, I see a lot of people who, and it's not their fault, right? There are a lot of people who are doing social media poorly um, when it comes to trying to build relationships. When you are in fields that require trust in order to in order to form that relationship. So I'm talking about accounting, bookkeeping, legal, financial, I think like health and wellness kind of fits into this too, right? Because that's a real personal thing for a lot of people. um, I know for me, pretty much anything kind of related to our business and building our business. Like if we're going to let you into our business, we need to trust you, right? We need to like you. And so I really believe that you cannot just like jump in and start like private messaging people to sell them. Like that does not work. Okay? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the 5 things that you need to do to nurture relationships. And listen, I'm going to tell you this does not happen overnight. Okay? This is a slow process. But what this does, and I've done this in my business, okay? What this does is this creates like a close knit group that you interact with who not only are they potentially going to be your clients, but they're going to help draw clients into you. Okay. And so, so this technique, this isn't like, hey, I'm going to run ads and, possibly get a client. This is not, this is something you do free, organic, slow. It's kind of methodical. But once you kind of put it in place, then it's really easy to kind of upkeep. Um, and so hopefully this works for you. Okay. So the first step in the process, and I'm going to put these into the comments while I'm going through so that way you've got them if you want to come back. So step number 1 is you're going to identify 5 people each week. Okay. You're going to identify 5 people each week that are your ideal customer, or they're people who are connectors for you, right? So when I talk about connectors, I talk about this a lot in Bookkeeper Training School. A connector is somebody who can refer you a lot of business. Okay, that's connector. I'm sorry, somebody's having their, oh, my landscaper's here. It's somebody who can refer a lot of business to you because they know a lot of people, okay? And so in my field, in accounting and bookkeeping, connectors are people who teach other business people. They're people who run masterminds. They are insurance people. They're attorneys, financial advisors. Basically anybody that has a large network of business owners who, who are your ideal customer. Okay. So that's things. So you're going to identify 5 people each week. Okay. That's easy, right? Now, where you're going to say, Kristen, where do I find these people? So if you're working locally, it might be in a chamber of commerce. Okay. And so maybe you go through the Chamber of Commerce member lists for a couple towns in your area, and you're looking for either your ideal customer or you're looking for the connectors. Okay. If you're looking online, you're looking for influencers, you're looking for, you're going into business groups and you're identifying people who could be your ideal customer or who seem to know a lot of people. And you'll know, like if you look at them, you're looking for people who have large numbers of friends that they're really active with, okay, that they're very active on social. You're looking for people who, are posting stories, You don't want people who aren't very active on social, okay? So, and you're going to see, like, you're going to think, like, okay, I found this person, they're great, and you're going to, like, you're going to do the rest of the steps with them, and then you're going to realize, oh, wait, they're not as active as I thought. Okay, so this is going to be, some of this is going to be hit or miss, but remember, they're going to build. Because if you do 5 people every week, then eventually, you're going to have, like, hundreds of people that you could potentially be interacting with, and you're going to find some of them aren't going to work. So you might, like, remove some people from your list. You might add other people to the list. But you're going to do 5 people. That's it, just 5. Don't do more than 5, just 5. Okay, especially as you're kind of learning this and gearing up. Okay, so then you've identified your 5 people. The second step is you're going to friend request and follow pages. Okay, so you're going to friend request and follow pages. So that means that you are going to friend request the person. Okay, now I know some of you are like, I don't want to do this. My Facebook is private. It is not for business. It is much harder to do this. Okay, if you are not willing to friend people. Now remember, you can segment your posts. You can keep things private and only have certain people see it. That's perfectly fine. But if you just follow pages, you can do this, but it's a lot slower. Okay? Because you're not going to get the same level of interaction if you are just liking pages. But if that's what you want to do, you can follow pages. You can find them on LinkedIn. You can find them on Instagram. What you're trying to do is you're trying to connect with them in multiple places. So, so you can do, like I said, you can do LinkedIn. You can do Instagram. And you can do, I think some people, it's funny, there's this thing, I think, on Facebook where, like, people will, you can follow people on Instagram and they don't have to follow you back. And so some people are more comfortable with that. So if you want to do Instagram, if you can find them there, then do that. There's kind of this disconnect between, like, okay, if I like you on Facebook, you got to like me back, like we're friends. And on Instagram, I can like you, but, I don't have to let you follow me back because I can be private on Instagram. So if that works better for you, you can do that too. The key to this, the reason that this works, and why you've got to do, the friend request, is because you're trying to get to stories. Okay? Because stories and DMs is where all the relationship building is happening. Okay? That's really the part where I'm building relationships with people. Okay? So step number 1 is identify 5 people per week. Step number 2, you're going to friend request, and if they have any pages listed on their profile, you're going to follow their pages. Okay? So step number 3 is where you start engagement. You're going to like new posts. You're going to comment. And you're going to start interacting with stories. Okay? You're going to like new posts, you're going to comment, you're going to interact with stories. I find that the easiest of these is to interact with stories. Because when, it's like when you're behind the scenes and you're talking to people, I find like that those are the easiest conversations to just kind of maintain. So you see something on somebody's story, you can send them an emoji, you can say, oh wow, that's so cool, you can ask them a question, but you're starting a conversation. It's like an icebreaker, right? Like, have you ever been in a situation where you're like, oh my God, I don't know what to say, I don't know what to do, I don't know how to start a conversation with people, but then, like, if you go in and you watch a story, you're like, oh wow, that's so neat, oh wow, that's so cool, oh, your kid's so cute. It's the icebreaker that you need to start a conversation. You see what I'm saying? Okay? And so going through the stories really, really helps. Okay? But like I said, liking posts, commenting on things, because what you're trying to do, the goal of this is so that the person gets to, they know you, they recognize you as somebody who interacts with them on a regular basis. And I have folks, it's funny, I have folks on my in my sphere that are doing this to me, right? And I see that like, oh, you comment on everything that I post. You like everything that I do. You're reacting to my stories. And so I know this person. And so I'm thinking like, oh, I need this for my business. I need that for my business. This person comes up for me. This person, I'm starting to think about them. And so I think that's kind of a really cool thing. Okay. So, you want to make sure you're liking new posts or comments and you're interacting with stories. Now remember, 5 people per week is eventually going to add up. Okay. And so, I have a whole bunch of people in bookkeeper training school who always ask me like, how can you possibly spend this much time marketing for your business every single week? Well, as these people start to build up, I mean, you're literally going to sit there and you're going to be in your stories interacting with people, right? And maybe you do that for 30 minutes, maybe once or twice a day. Well, if you're doing that, that's 2.5 to 5 hours a week that you're just interacting with people who are in your ecosphere, or you're trying to identify the people that you're going to add this week, and you're sending friend requests and you're following pages and you're doing all the things. Okay. So the time adds up. Okay. What I recommend in bookkeeper training school is I tell people that when you are, when you're figuring out your schedule for your business, which I teach this in bookkeeper training school, but when you figure out how many hours you want to work in your business, about 85% of that time is going to be actively working in your business, okay, when you first start out. So about 15% admin and about 85% client work or marketing. And until you have client work, you're going to be marketing, okay? So this is the kind of stuff that you're doing to fill in that time. Okay, so number 1, you're identifying 5 people per week. Number 2, you're sending friend requests and you're following their pages. You can also see if you can connect with them on LinkedIn, and Instagram and wherever else you want to find them. Number 3, you're liking posts, you're commenting, you're interacting with stories. You're trying to start a little bit of a dialogue, okay? Number 4, okay? Number 4 is where you start pushing out value, okay? For the love of God, please, please, please don't push a sale, okay? I want you to be the kind of person that's like, hey, here's something that will help you. I'm here to help you if you need it, okay? So number 4 is you're going to share important dates, okay, and articles of value, okay? So these are things like, hey, I just want to remind you that the estimated tax deadline is January 15th, and you do this like, around January 4th, okay? Hey, listen, I just wanted to remind you, you could actually put out a story if you wanted for that, but then also like, hey, I just want to remind you, the last estimated tax deadline, is next week, and everybody's super busy right now, so I just wanted to send you that reminder. If you need help with your bookkeeping, I'd be happy, I'd love to set up a meeting with you. Just shoot me a DM if you're interested, okay? It can be as simple as that. Like, it doesn't have to be, I get these posts from people, and they're these really long, like, sales post DMs. Do you get these? That they're, like, super, super long, that I'm scrolling to get through them. I like sending the value and then saying, like, hey, if you need any help with anything, I'm happy to help. Just shoot me a DM. And then that's where you can connect them to book a call with you, okay? But I find that the value really helps. Now, the last thing that you want to do, okay, and I know there's so many people who are not doing this. Make sure to post regularly that you are looking for clients. Okay, so what does that mean? That means that you are going to put up a post, typically like once a month, that says like, hey guys, look, I've got openings to bring on 3 new clients this month. If you're looking for a bookkeeper, please reach out. You can DM me or you can book a discovery call at this link. And what you can do is you can do it from your page, okay? And then share it to your profile so that way it's in both places, okay? And that's kind of what I like to do because then it helps the post get a little bit of traction on your page, okay? But what you're looking to do is you want to make sure that you're reminding people like, hey, look, I've got a couple spots open for new clients. And it doesn't matter what you're doing. It doesn't matter if you're a bookkeeper, a web designer, a copywriter. It doesn't matter, a virtual assistant, whatever it is that you do. You should be putting up a post like once a month around the same time that says, hey, look, I'm looking at my, so like right now it is the end of November, right? And I would do this like earlier, right? Because you want time to onboard them and get them ready. But say, hey, look, I'm looking at my schedule for December. It looks like I can take on 2 new clients in December. We're almost at the end of the year. If your bookkeeping is a mess, now's the time, to get on that and let's get this straightened out so that you can be all set for, your taxes in April and, you're all squared away for 2021. Okay. So I've got room for 2. That's all I've got. You might have room for more than that. It's okay. But don't say, hey, look, I'm looking to take on 10 new clients. Cause that doesn't seem scarce. It doesn't seem like, it seems like you've got a lot of room in your schedule. Right. And so what I like to do is say, I'm looking for 2 or 3, whatever, but have it be like a small number. And frankly, like, look, if you come in later and say, hey, look, I just looked at my schedule again, and I thought I could only take on 3, but I can take on 2 more, then that's okay too. But you want it, you want it to be scarce. You want it to be a small number. And you kind of see that, right? Like, hey, you'll see that in offers. Like, hey, look, we're buying, 3 cars. We're looking for, 2 people who can do this. But when you say, like, we're looking for 10,000 people who want to do this, and you're kind of like, I don't know. Okay. So, but make sure you put posts like that up on a regular basis. And then make sure that you're sharing out important dates, articles of value. If you work with people in the online space and you see articles about working from home, how to be productive with your kids at home, something like that, like those are really good posts to kind of share along with people, because you want to say like, hey, look, I understand what your business looks like. I understand how hard it can be to do what you're doing. And so, anything I can do to kind of help business owners, is something I love to do. And so if you go through those 5 steps, which again, it's identifying 5 people each week, friend requests and follow pages for those 5 folks, you're liking new posts, you're commenting, you're interacting with stories. And that's just not those 5 people, but that's as it's building every single week, right? And share important dates and articles of value, and then make sure to post regularly that you're looking for clients. Now, you might say, well, what if I identify 10 people in 1 week? Well, that's great. I friend request 5 and then use 5 more for the next week. Because you're going to have weeks where you're like, I can't find anybody new. There's nobody that's super interesting. And so I don't know what to do. If you've got extra people in the pipeline, then that's awesome. Okay. And you've got, your people for the next week. So, hopefully you find that helpful. Let me know if you have any questions about this, but this is a really simple way to start interacting in a systematic way, on social media. Okay? So hopefully this is helpful. This is the only live I'm doing on this page this week because Thursday is Thanksgiving. I hope that you will take some time to think about what you're thankful for this week. All right, mamas, I hope that you have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Thank you so much for watching the channel and for watching the podcast. Your participation in the podcast really helps us. And if you want more tips about Facebook, this week's podcast is all about Facebook and how your profile might be hurting your business. So go check that out. You can go to smallbizmama.com or anywhere you listen to podcasts. Look for Small Biz Mama. All right. Thank you. I will see you soon. Bye.